Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to today's That Jordo Broadcast Experience Direct. I'm Bumbus, and I'll be your host for today's presentation. Please drop your primes now. Today, we'll be covering some details about Siloowett Jepperdy Origins, the newest game in the Siloowett Jepperdy franchise. Or should I say oldest, as this one is a prequel. If you're unfamiliar with Siloowett Jepperdy as a franchise, I suggest watching the direct we made for the third installment, Siloowett Jepperdy The 3 Minutes. This will give you a more in-depth overview of the rules as well as the history of the series. However, as a quick overview, Siloowett Jepperdy is a game where contestants are given a board of various outlines depicting characters from fiction and non-fiction. It is up to them to guess who these characters are. Whoever guesses the most wins. As mentioned, this direct will focus on the prequel to the original trilogy, covering some details about today's categories, today's contestants, and other gameplay mechanics that you can expect. Without further ado, the main thing that sets Origins apart from the other games is its overarching storyline. This time around, you'll be exploring the country of Bumbania, a secret country somewhere on Earth that can only be found once you've circumnavigated the globe 28 times and kept your GameCube on for at least 24 hours. This area is rich with flora and fauna and shows very little signs of human activity. That is, aside from a single temple in the middle of the country. The origins of this temple are unknown, though through geological dating, we were able to determine this temple is very, very old, dating back all the way to 1981. This temple is known as the Temple of Bumbus.
This is the stage we'll be playing on today. Sure looks different from previous Jeopardies, doesn't it? Music tracks and ambiance will also be special for today's gameplay as well.
Today, myself and 3 other contestants will be exploring that temple, as we explore its rooms, which depict various pieces of artwork on the walls. The purpose of this artwork is unknown, however it may hold the secrets to humanity itself. That's why I decided to turn it into a game show. Which rooms we explore in what order will be dependent on the contestants. That's why they'll choose one of the rooms and try to guess the artwork hidden in that room. There's some other great treasures hidden here, such as the Daily Bumble, but we'll get into those later. For the time being,
if you caught the original trilogy of games, these faces should look familiar. Unfortunately, they will not be participating this time around. Today's game follows the tale of each of their ancestors. Ancient heroes with their own stories to tell, who met only once at a fateful moment in history. Each has a mystical battle cry, striking fears into the hearts of many. Mostly just wildlife, but I'd freak out too if I heard these unannounced as well. We call these great bellows buzzer checks. As each character is introduced, you will get to hear these as well. To begin, we have a samurai from Hokkaido, Japan. Equipped with the legendary Yamato blade and trained in the spider-style sword art, nobody in his village stood a chance against his strength in battle. After proving his worth, he was entrusted with a mission to find a way to stop an approaching storm, which threatened to destroy the entire clan's existence. Today, his search has brought him to the Temple of Bumbania, suspecting the depths of the structure may hold his answers. This is the ancestor of Macman, Sinclair. His buzzer check is as follows. Another adventurer enters the scene, an individual with a passion for travel, devoting his entire life to exploring the Earth, simply as a challenge to test his own limits. One day, he hopes to explore even the skies themselves. But for the time being, he's visited every country at least once. That is, aside from Bumbania. To those who cross his path, he is simply known as the Wanderer. To history, we know him as Tianus, the ancestor of Prince T. While his next move can never be predicted, it is always forewarned by a chilling sound. And finally, we just got a guy. This one's been here even longer than Bumbus, and nobody knows why, even himself. But he loves to cook for the local wildlife and has become quite quaint with many, choosing to shove small rodents into his pockets whenever the opportunity presents itself. He even practices painting from time to time, though not professionally. In terms of geography, he spent his entire life in the surrounding forests, living in a 10-step by 10-step parameter. But one fateful day, he dropped his favorite oven mitt, the left one, and was forced to take an 11th step to the left. And wouldn't you know it, that was enough to see around a rock obscuring the horizon and discover the temple of Bumbania himself. For the second time in his life, he became curious and visited the temple, hoping to find a new concoction to add to his culinary repertoire. By chance, this was the same time Bumbus was exploring. For some reason, he'll make this noise whenever the time calls for it, and always introduces himself with his favorite catchphrase.
Hey there, Sonny. I'm Master Soup.
Which happens to be his name, Master Soup, a long-lost relative of Jordo's great-grandfather. Three faces with entirely different stories, but only one can discover the true secrets of the temple.
These three will take on the structure alongside Bumbus. Who lives and dies? You'll have to watch to find out.
But yeah, no, that's me.
However, these three are not the only ones in the temple. Previously, I announced Ian McKellen would be part of this game, and that is true. More information on that in a moment. For the time being, please take a look at this.
Witness a king's revival.
Dude, I'm not the guy. You're like 40 years too early.
Regardless, I will reshape this world as it was meant to be. I will crush any opposition. I will rule. That is what a king...
Look, dude, I don't give a shit. Can you just come down here and talk to me like a normal person?
Here I come. I'll skewer you.
Alright, cool. So look, I wanted to...
You stubborn brat! This ends now. Be gone!
Did you shut the fuck up? Do you want it or not?
Yes? Allow me to offer you my deepest apologies for taking so long to accept your repeated invitations.
Yeah, dude, whatever. Jackass.
Finally. What a feat. Finally, it is mine!
That's right. I've invited Ganondorf, the Great King of Evil, to participate in this game as well. My thought process for it was quite simple. Torture you guys. You see, I knew I could never control him, so I just let him be, and now he wanders the temple somewhere. I don't know. It's up to you to not find him, because eventually, one of you is going to choose the room he's currently located in, and when that happens, it's not going to be fun for you. Whoever selects the room will be tormented to his punishment. Basically, he's going to show you his own silhouette that I did not approve of. It's going to be much harder than what I pick as well. If I had to compare it, probably an 800-point question. Haha, but don't get me wrong, you're not getting 800 points. No, if you get it right, you don't get anything except him leaving you alone for the rest of the game, potentially. But the real pain comes if you don't get that question right. Because in your vulnerable state, after missing that, he's gonna steal 1,000 points from you. I don't make the rules. Well, I kind of do, but still. Alright, I get it's a bit unfair that you can randomly select a tile and be punished, so as a hint, he's looking for power, so try to avoid the 400 or 500 level questions for as long as possible, as that's probably where he is. Now, this disincentivizes choosing a category at all, right? Well, of course it does. But that's why I'm forcing you to pick one. Okay, so let's say you don't want to pick a category, that's fine. You get 2 skips, where you can force one player of your choice to pick the next question even if they didn't get it right. If a player volunteers to pick the board as well, no reason not to, so you'll be able to do that free of charge. Now, why would anyone risk running into Ganondorf themselves, you ask? Well, because it might be the only chance you have to defeat him. Let me explain. If you were present for Siloowett Jepperdy, the Flea Mix, you may remember the Bum Bombs, a trio of hidden prizes on the board, allowing a player to remove points from another's score. 3 ancient prototypes of these exist somewhere throughout the temple, waiting for you to collect them. The main difference this time around, however, is rather than awarding it to the player who gets the silhouette correct, it's awarded to the player who selects the tile. That way you take some risk into running into Ganondorf to receive a prize. Where they are hidden remains a mystery even to myself, but I can confirm there are 2 normal ancient Bum Bombs and a Bum Bomb of Light. Now, that second one, it's going to erase 1,000 points from the player's total, whereas the other ones erase 500. However, that Bum Bomb of Light, you can use that to defeat Ganondorf. So I originally created these Bum Bombs to keep people I found annoying away. However, they do have some useful side effects, I guess. For one, they kind of dissipate the powers of beings of darkness, so if one were to use this on Ganondorf, he probably can't steal points from you. So yeah, rather than using it on the player, maybe you want to save it to defeat Ganon, or maybe bribe him into attacking another player instead. That probably would work too. Please use Bum Bombs to destroy somebody's day. 40 years ago, I met Ian McKellen during some wizard shit in a school for British people, I don't know. But understanding the horrors of that scenario, I invited him to the temple to start anew, which seems to have greatly tickled his fancy. Unfortunately, sightings of Ian have been sparse throughout the years. I think he's still in here, but even myself, I have minimal contact with him. So fun fact, the artwork in this temple is actually divided into sections, which I call categories, and I created one specifically for Ian. I've dubbed this portion as Ian McKellen, #1 famous old guy category. I hope this display of dedication to my friend will eventually draw him out, so hey, maybe we will get a sighting. Maybe. And I guess while we're on the topic, I should introduce what the other sections of the temple look like. So please take a look at this.
And there you have it! Joining Incredible Ian are today's categories. Purgatory, also known as Pre-Hell. Grandiose Guardians, the category for people who are canonically parents. Prehistoric Pals, a category built up of creatures and beings from the ancient past. Think dinosaurs or pyramids or shit like that. Optimal Origins. Anything from a prequel is up for grabs in this category. And of course, we always have a sponsored category. Tubular Technology is a category devoted to any technology that would be considered old by 2023 standards. And I'm happy to announce the Blue Ghoul has sponsored this one. Back then, he was just known as the Blue Guy. Haha, I kid. Just a bit of past humor for you. No, he's been dead for much longer than this. 30 silhouettes roughly related to the word origins. How many will you be able to guess?
So I'm not going to go into too much detail about this, but yes, the Daily Bumble and Final Bumble are back. Yes, again, the Daily Bumble will be read by a celebrity. As a reminder, we had Bumbus and Hank before, so who knows who the next one will be. Maybe you want to get it, I don't know. What I can talk about is this. As I mentioned, there's a treasure hidden in the middle of the temple, so whoever gets that treasure will get to keep it. What is that treasure? I'm glad you asked. It's one of those retro 80s style solo cups. Great deal, I know. I'd want one myself, but I'll give it to you. If you want me to sign it, sure, I'll mail it to you. If you want me to make an NFT of it, weird, but maybe I'll do that, I don't know. But yeah, make sure you win for this thing, because that's a big deal. And that pretty much wraps up today's presentation. However, before we go, I assume most of you caught the reveal trailer for Siloowett Jepperdy Origins during the Bumbus Presidential Direct. It sure took a lot of effort to make, and additionally, there were some Easter eggs hidden in here that you may have overlooked your first time around. From references to the original trilogy of games, to even Ganondorf's involvement being hinted at from the very beginning. I sure did put a lot of attention into this, including some hints for today's gameplay. That's why with this context, I'm going to let you watch the trailer one more time. Please keep an eye out for silhouettes that may appear on today's board. Thank you for watching, and please, take a look.